policies. Special guests at the gala include former GOP presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy and former Navy SEAL Team 6 member Rob O'Neill. The Border 911 website says the event is sold out. Former President Trump announced Border 911 on his Truth Social platform last year, promoting it as a tax-exempt charity. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
A southern state may be leading the way in making sure women have another option than abandoning their newborns. More from Charlie Butts.
Kids to Love Foundation was instrumental in getting state legislation passed to permit safe haven baby boxes installed in fire stations in Alabama. Founder Lee Marshall tells AFN that process happened after 2 babies were abandoned and died in different parts of the state.
We saw this happening in our state at the same time that we were working so diligently on getting this legislation passed. And every time that happened, it just really gave fuel to our fire of why we knew we had to get this done and get this done as quickly as we possibly could to get these boxes in place.
The first baby was surrendered in a Madison, Alabama box within 2 weeks of setting it up, and 2 more babies this year. Money has been raised for a total of 12 safe haven baby boxes.
We have been bombarded with municipalities across the state of Alabama that are interested in adding these boxes. And so when that happens, we refer them straight to the national office and let them deal directly with that. Because, our goal is eventually to have boxes in every city. That would be an amazing thing to add and to give so many women so many options when they're not ready to parent.
Aside from the baby boxes, Kids to Love is involved in placing children for foster care and adoption.
For American Family News, I'm Rusty P.
Well, good evening, everyone, wherever you are. It is time for Far Out with Nick at Night. That would be me. And we're here just to hang out for the evening. So if you just need a place to hang out, meet some other people, someplace to let your opinions be made known about what's going on in the world around you, about your walk with Christ, just about anything. It's just a hangout. I don't want the program to be just about me, but I'd like it to be about those that are listening too. So anyone's invited to come on in or comment at any time. You can call or text the number that you see on the screen right below my face there, and become part of the broadcast. You are welcome, and it's good to see a couple people here. Genetic Modification and Epicus are in the house. They're in separate rooms, though. Yeah, but in the house. Okay, let's see. I guess to warm things up, we'll get over and see what we have at the Babylon Bee tonight. Yes, indeed. I haven't been there yet, so we're going to be looking at it for the first time together. And as I request that if you see anything funny, you think it would be great to share on the broadcast, you can text me a link, or you can drop it into the First Amendment Radio chat room, or one of them chat rooms there. And we'll see if we can share it with everyone. Okay, Babylon Bee. What has Babylon Bee to say? Let's make a little adjustment here. See if we can get everything on the screen. All right. Democrats warn parents to quickly transition their kids before they grow out of it. Yes, on the heels of a new study regarding young people with gender dysphoria, children that are accused, supposedly confused about their gender. I wonder, how would they get confused? Let's see. Who is the author of confusion? Yeah. And so there are agents of confusion in the public schools. So, but the study says not to worry, that they'll grow out of it, and that they do. But Democrats issued a warning to parents to transition their kids quickly before they grow out of it. Yeah, hurry up and transition them. Problem is that when they do grow out of it, regardless of transitioning, they're not really very happy about it. And we see that in the news a lot anyway. The new study, which revealed a large percentage of young people with gender dysphoria will eventually come to accept their actual gender. Yeah, you think? Yeah. Has created a new sense of urgency within the Biden administration. Yeah. Parents, just imagine this dirty old man sniffing your child. Yeah. An urgency within the Biden administration to make sure parents take action now so that as many children can be transitioned as possible before it's too late for them to object. Yeah. Chop them up now, folks, Biden said in a statement to American parents. Let me be clear, there's no time to waste. If you don't transition your kids now, you run the risk of having them grow out of their gender confusion and maturing into healthy, mentally stable adults who aren't confused about their gender. Don't wait. Get them to one of those weird doctors. Swap out their parts. Get it done. End of speech. Walk away. Yes, indeed. Who writes these speeches for the president? That is the question. Good to see you over there, Tom Raines. And you're welcome. Yes, I do it as much for myself as for you, but yes, that's the idea. Okay, let's see what else the Babylon Bee has here for us. Teen thanks parents for supporting him through that time of confusion. Oh, yeah. But can he have his private parts back now? Yeah, as he'll grow out of it. Yes, really, please don't leave your children in public school, or your grandchildren, or anybody's children in public school. Yes, they're satanic seminaries is what they are. Let's see, what else from Crooked Joe? Biden still polling well with 3 a.m. mail-in ballot demographic. That's right. Yes, we do. We all remember 2020, don't we? Has anyone forgot about the 3 a.m. mail-in ballot demographic? Yes, still polling well with the 3 a.m. mail-in ballot demographic. Yeah, those are all the people who can hear Joe from his basement. What else have we got here? Adam waits patiently as Eve tries on 23 different fig leaves. Yes, indeed. What else do we have here? Pastor's popularity skyrockets after church installs skip intro option. Yes, it's like a Netflix episode. Just push the button, skip the intro. And midlife crisis. Wife begs husband to just buy a convertible instead of a Greek trireme. I don't even know what a Greek trireme. I guess that's the boat picture up there that I see on the screen. Greek trireme. Never even said that word before, and now I know it looks like a Greek boat of a sort. Yeah, just buy a convertible instead. Yes, indeed. I guess I went through my midlife crisis early because I had a convertible in the past. Okay. California Starbucks struggling to find robot workers with enough tattoos and piercings to work registers. Yeah, you know what? Have I ever even been in a Starbucks? I've seen them. No, nope, never been in a Starbucks in my life. Imagine that. There's several in the town near me, and they're everywhere, I guess. But I've been near them, but yeah, don't think I ever went in one. Yeah, I don't need, $10 cups of coffee, $5 to $10 for a cup of coffee. Yeah, I can buy a couple weeks worth of coffee with that much money. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Parents really in need of vacation after grueling vacation. That makes sense somehow. Let's see. I felt the 4.8 tremor here in my apartment in eastern PA this morning, says NoBuck71. I believe that's Bob from PA, right? Is that Bob from PA? I think, is my memory serve me right? Let's see. It's a big deal here in the northeastern U.S. Californians would laugh at this little burp. That's right. Yeah. We get them regularly, so of course I don't think I've felt one maybe in a year, but yeah, you get to feel one or two a year occasionally. Let me see what I got here. I'm looking at something. I'm playing producer at the moment. This is what my producer would do from me. Yes, indeed. So, yes, welcome to California without coming, Bob. There we go. Okay, let's see what else. I think that's all we got from Babylon Bee. You guys haven't been sending me any funny stuff. Yeah, haven't been sending me any funny stuff. So, when you see something funny, whether it's on Netflix, X. I guess we're just going to stop saying formerly Twitter now. Yeah. On X or wherever it's at. Funny videos, whatever. Think it'd be great to share with the meetup tonight. I don't know, what do you call what we're doing? It's a meetup. Yeah, because you guys won't talk, I have to do all the talking. The only guy who calls in is the guy that doesn't want to talk. Yeah, is that great? Yes, what a show. What a show, man. There's a semi going down the street in front of me. Can anyone hear that semi? Yeah. My neighbor up above me has a trucking business. Yeah. Let's see, what else we got here? Oh, anything funny. I forgot to scroll through X to see what was on there today, so maybe I'll do it during the break if I get a break. Okay, well, let's see what else we got here. We got another tab opening. And I'm sorry to say that Redacted stopped sending out their newsletter, so we don't get the Redacted newsletter anymore. I like their newsletter. Yeah, I guess maybe I should lodge a complaint, but I know what it takes to do a broadcast like they do, because, I might do that one. Well, yeah, they probably work harder on getting their content together than I do. At least in the evening, because I really don't want this to be work. This is like, instead of relaxing and watching a movie or sitting by the lamp reading a book or just getting bored and falling asleep, I do this instead. So it takes me an hour about to get ready, but I just line stuff up. Oh, let's see. We have a caller, and hopefully this caller will speak. Okay, answer. And your name and where you're calling from. You are on the air. Oh, this number already has one strike. It's funny, I can't see that until after I answer it. Okay, well, this is strike two for this number. This number will disappear from being able to call me forever now. You sure you don't want to say something? You're running out of time. You've got a whole 3 seconds left. It was like I asked for it, didn't I? So end call, and then we go over here and we say block number, and then we block the number, and then we delete the conversation forever. Yes, never again. Bye-bye. Delete conversation. So that number is gone. So whoever you are, you have to go out and get another number. I'm sorry to make this difficult on you. How many is that so far? About 14? Yeah. Guy Fawkes calls again. Yeah. He probably has as many numbers as the original Guy Fawkes had sticks of dynamite. Fortunately, he's not blowing me up. So, yes, indeed. Okay. Back to it here. Not the bee. Yeah, this is the serious stuff, not satire. Why are states and counties declaring emergencies for the solar eclipse? Let's talk about it. I kind of wonder that myself. Why would they be declaring? Oh, maybe Joe Biden is stupid enough to send them money. Yes, it must be emergency. The lights are going out for a couple minutes. Yes, indeed. Fortunately, I'm in California, and we're not going to see the eclipse. I might get to see the moon get close to blocking out the sun, but no cigar. Yeah. So, yeah, we won't see it over here on the left coast from what I've seen. So, no emergency here. But anyway, the question is asked. Let's talk about it. So, seems weird. Canada's Niagara region declared a state of emergency ahead of a rare total eclipse. A state of emergency declared in New York. Indiana governor has declared a state of emergency ahead of the April 8th solar eclipse. And Texas County declares state of emergency. Let's see. Beverly Hills' first program selling the oily swamp for $20 million is hilarious. Saw it today. Oh, Beverly Hillbillies. Yeah, I love that show. I mean, it's just because I wanted to. We're getting off on a side here now, but I love Beverly Hillbillies. Talk about funny all the time and never gets old. The trouble is, it seems that they have lost most of the episodes because I tried to find them all because, they did it for at least 9 seasons, and you can't watch them all. So I'd like to see somebody where you could watch them all over again. But great to watch with your grandchildren or just about anybody, that likes to laugh and can find the Beverly Hillbillies funny. My very favorite, Tom. Yeah. Thank you for reminding them. Just makes me happy thinking about the Beverly Hillbillies. Seriously. But anyway, let's check out this story. Yeah. Okay. Oh, X post loading. Seems weird. Okay. Yes, indeed. Oh, there was an issue loading this tweet. Oh, they put a tweet on their page. Let's talk about it. Okay. I guess we don't get to look at the... Oh, Texas... Oh, here we go. I guess there's a bunch of them missing. So, it looks like they finally loaded. Okay. Indiana governor has declared a state of emergency ahead of the April 8th solar eclipse in anticipation of massive crowds coming to see the celestial phenomena. What, they have to go there to see it? Oh, I see. If you're in California, you might want to go to Chicago to see it. I see. But why would I go to the city when there's so much country along that corridor where you can view it? I would rather go to the Appalachia or someplace that's really cool rather than a big city. But Indiana governor, yeah, has declared a state of emergency because people are going to be coming to see the solar eclipse. Hundreds of thousands. Okay. Oh, this is ABC Chicago. Let's check it out. And there's where it's going across. You can see we could just totally get to miss it. The map disappears, of course. Yes, they always do this kind of stuff to you. Are you in the path of totality? Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's an ad. Yes, they would do that to me. Well, I won't turn up the volume until the ad disappears. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1. M&M's. Oh. And there's no sound anyway. So anyway, they're just giving you a picture of where it will be. You had to watch an M&M's ad to see it. But path of totality. So you can see I'm over here on the left coast. Do not get to see it. Yeah. Okay. So the last time Indiana saw a total eclipse, 1869. The next one won't be until 2099. As a result, as anticipated, the state of Indiana will see a significant influx of several 100,000 visitors to witness what will be, for nearly all, a once-in-a-lifetime event.
Excuse me, would you mind taking a picture of us?
Oh, no problem.
Okay, stop.
Ooh,
Another
yes.
ad. These people are ridiculous. Yeah, once-in-a-lifetime event. Holcomb's order says he expects there to be widespread and significant impact on the state's critical infrastructure, including transportation, communication, emergency response services. As a result, the governor issued his declaration to be able to call upon other states that are also members of the Emergency Management Assistance Compact, or EMAC, in case they have sudden need for additional resources or other help. I don't know. Are they kind of like overrating the solar eclipse? I mean, seriously, it seems like a little over the top to me. We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to see. Okay, what else here? We got it. Canada's Niagara region declared a state of emergency. It had a rare total eclipse. The mayor of Niagara Falls. Now, I might go to Niagara Falls if I was close by to watch it. So maybe they got something there because, you know, you have what's a tourist attraction. And if I was going to travel to see the solar eclipse, I might go to Niagara Falls so I could see the falls too. Yeah, you know, get a motel or a room and spend the night, make an outing of it, a holiday. Yes. So anyway, let's see. Okay. Annoying. So anyway, so Canada's Niagara Falls. Okay, state of emergency declared in New York counties ahead of solar eclipse April 9th. Precautionary measure related to expected volume of visitors, possible cell service disruption. You think that they think that they're the only place you can go to see the solar eclipse. This is hilarious. Okay, Dallas Morning News. Come on, you guys. It's a huge swath where the solar eclipse can be seen as the sun and the moon, you know, the moon blocks out the sun for, you know, a few minutes or whatever it is. Yes, these people are getting way too excited. I'm just telling you, they think something's going to happen. I think it's going to be a big dud. Yeah, you know, it's going to be a solar eclipse, but all this preparation in states of emergency. And here we go. The eclipse is coming, so I'm directly in the path of the eclipse and thought, wow, that's cool. And then read that our WEF governor, Holcomb, has already declared a state of emergency for 7.5 minutes of darkness, the equivalent of dawn or dusk. Seriously, what am I missing? Look, sanity. A little bit of sanity. The eclipse is coming. Oh, no. Buy water, more food. It's an emergency. At least we get to laugh about it. Yeah. Let's see, the rapture. Oh, the rapture. Yeah, it's like the rapture. There you go. Yeah, well, the rapture crew must be calling and vanishing just when you pick up the phone. I like that one, Tom. That's great, man. Yes, we all got left behind. Yeah, you're still here? You get left behind. Yeah, that's great. I love that, man. Yeah. Let's see. Still have a heart for us. Yes, we missed you, No Bucks. Yes, we did. Anyway, glad you're back, Bob. We were beginning to wonder. Okay. Oh, there's my tone. And so we'll continue this hilarious event, this emergency, when we get back from some messages here. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a few minutes. Secrets of the Rapture. Is there a 500-year-old conspiracy? A propaganda machine so pervasive and entrenched, yet so elusive that the entire world could be taken in by it, working in plain sight, but unseen by the world for what it truly is? If prophecy is God-given history in advance, why does the prophecy that has conquered the age also exclude nearly 2,000 years of history? What is it that they are afraid that the light of history will reveal? To understand our place and time in prophecy, we must look in history for an interpretation, that which stands the test of time, that which agrees with the Word of God, and history has proven to be true. When cunning fables and fearful speculations are removed from our sight, then we may clearly see what is truly expressed in Bible prophecy, both that which has been fulfilled and that which has yet to come. God's express word is the sword that must be wielded to remove the scales from the eyes and dispel the darkness of deceitful conjecture. Secrets of the Rapture was written to expose that which the spirit of the age has conjured out of the darkness to blind the eyes of the church in the world today. Secrets of the Rapture, Deconstructing Pre-Tribulation Dispensational Futurism by yours truly, Nicholas Arthur, is now available at lulu.com and Amazon. Secrets of the Rapture.
The program you are listening to is 100% sponsored by you, the listener, on this First Amendment Rights Media channel. You will notice that there are few commercials on this radio network. There's a good reason for that. Corporate advertising dollars come with strings that limit program content. So without your help, these programs cannot continue on internet or our several affiliates. If you benefit by the educational law programs, we ask you to give. If you are admonished or nurtured by the Bible and ministry programs, we ask you to give. If some voice a cause that you are passionate about, we ask you to give. If you believe in any of these, we ask you to support them as you would a missionary on a continual basis, as if giving a tithe for missionary radio. These programs are not commercially viable and must be supported by those faithful to the cause of truth. Look for the button to sponsor your favorite programs at our listen and schedule pages on the internet. We're asking you to give much less than a tithe so that you may also send support directly to a particular program host, cause, and anywhere else the Spirit may lead you. Do all to the glory of our God and Creator, for His holy nation, the only kingdom that will last forever. Thank you for listening.
right, welcome back. As reading in the chat room here, Bob says, what is so special about the eclipse? It's just another eclipse, right? And Mike says, I'm sure there's a Simpson episode explaining it all. Funny, there probably is. So the eclipse is coming. Get ready. It's an emergency. 7.5 minutes. The next thing you know, Elvis will be calling in. What do you guys think? All right. So now in 2024, America, a solar eclipse constitutes a state of emergency, huh? We have achieved idiocracy, folks. Give yourselves a big old round of applause. Indeed. And more, it continues. State of emergency. CERN, NASA, and state of emergency during solar eclipse. None of it makes sense. Why would they declare a state of emergency before an event has even occurred? Yes. Crazy.
So Niagara Falls declared a state of emergency for something that hasn't happened yet. So Niagara region declares state of emergency to prepare for solar eclipse crowds. Apparently it's going to be one of the best places in Canada to watch the solar eclipse. Declaring a state of emergency strengthens the tools the region has at its disposal, etc., etc. It's just strange that I've never heard of declaring an emergency before the emergency happened. If anything, they'd say something like, we're going to have a lot of cops out on that night because there's going to be a lot of people in town. But the other strange thing that's happening is NASA is launching 3 rockets into the solar eclipse during the solar eclipse on April 8th. They're sending them into the eclipse shadow and they're hoping to learn things. But perhaps the weirdest...
Okay, yes. So, people are going crazy over the eclipse. What's next? Well, who do I have on the line? Is this our ghost caller again? Do we got...
No, I'm here in Memphis, man. I thought I'd sing you a song.
Okay, so the caller wants to sing a song. What do you guys say? Should we let him sing?
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You know what?
Oh, okay. All right.
What's going on? What's going on? Thank you very much.
All right. I believe it's...
I don't know if you can,
I believe it's Philip.
I don't know.
It's Philip, right?
Yeah, I don't know if you could hear very well.
No, I think we need a better sound system, Philip, to get that.
Yeah, we'll have to. Well, are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me? You probably hear me when I'm right up against it, but I gotta have my.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to have my.
Sounds like you need
my phone.
You need a soundboard over there. That's right.
Yeah. I'm just on my phone.
Okay.
But I mean I'm sounding pretty good, but it's if I don't have it right up on my in other words, I have to have the speaker on. I can't. It doesn't do very good when I.
Well, genetic modification in the chat room. He guessed it was you. So and he says, "God help us."
Well, it's really funny because when I slow down my voice and I don't talk too fast, like last night, I was really nervous. But once I really slow down my voice, I sound a lot like you. But if I talk too fast, it doesn't have that. It doesn't put out my baritone.
Oh,
but
well, you don't have to tell us all your secrets, man.
Yeah, but the thing of it is, I've been nervous. I haven't been on radio for My Lord, 22 years. Well, I do the open air thing in downtown Dallas, but that's always different. It's different because I'm not having to deal with the acoustics. In other words, like I'm not having to deal with the sound system the way you are.
Okay,
So
Mick says we can't hear, or I can. I don't know what's going on there. You guys can hear okay? Because all of my monitors say everything's doing well.
Wait, let me see. Can you hear me now?
Well, yeah, I can hear you. Everything looks good.
I don't know what's going on.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
you must have had something you wanted to talk about besides just singing us a song, Philip.
Well, you know, the thing about it is what I wanted to really what I wanted to say, what the Holy Spirit has laid upon my heart is it's almost like it's a mystery how that people are blinded to the reality of the Word of God. It's like people are just so they're in a trance state with completely just an American gospel. It's pretty much I wanted to pretty much deal with the prosperity gospel. It's almost like if you're not wealthy and if you don't have prosperity, you're not right with God. That was the thing that, you know, you got to understand the faith message, the prosperity faith message, the word of faith message.
Well, yeah, I heard that nonsense a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, Nicholas, it's really, really bad in the Bible Belt. I mean, when you get here to DFW Airport, it's almost like if you're a preacher here in this town, if you're not driving a Lamborghini, or if you're not driving a Mercedes-Benz, you're not right with God. It's that prevalent here.
See, who's the Pope of the prosperity gospel?
I'd say Joel Osteen.
Really, Joel Osteen, huh? So he's like the Pope.
Yes.
And is he the white Pope or the black Pope of the prosperity gospel?
Boy, that's a good question.
Kenneth Copeland might be the black Pope because he looks more like the devil.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, he's the Godfather.
He's the Godfather.
I would call. Yeah, he's the John Gotti of the movie.
I mean, that guy he's got an evil devil-looking face, man. I think his face has been disfigured by Satan because he's so evil.
Well, now let me just say this to you so that you'll understand. Whenever I was ministering back in the 80s, the picture you have of me is when I was in Washington, D.C. with Tina and my baby. And I preached for Jerry Falwell there in that picture. And then I also went on and met Pat Robertson, which, of course, and that area is more of a militant Jesuit area. When you get into Washington and Baltimore, you have more of a Gothic style Catholicism. In other words, when you walk into the Capitol,
absolutely,
I couldn't believe it's very Gothic. I mean, you can feel the spirit, the Gothic spirit of Dark Age Catholicism in Pennsylvania. Like when I was at Gettysburg, there's no evangelical Christianity. When you get on the other side of Richmond, it's almost like a Gothic spirit. It's not like the Buckle or the Bible Belt, like down here. So anyway, the point that I'm trying to say is there's two different spirits. You have that spirit in Pennsylvania, which is more of a medieval Catholicism, that's more of an overt Jesuitism, like when you go to the Battle of Gettysburg. I had to deal with.
Well, let's see. Yeah, we have Bob from Pennsylvania. I believe Bob's from Pennsylvania. Yeah, I think so. Is it like that in Pennsylvania, Bob? Well, I grew up back east, but not near Pennsylvania. I grew up in the Detroit area. A little different.
Well, by the way, you know that David Wilkerson was from Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania. Did you know that?
I had no idea.
No, yeah, he told me. I don't know, but all I'm saying is I grew up here in the shadow of Oral Roberts because my grandfather lived in Henrietta, Oklahoma. So Oral Roberts was very popular down here up in Oklahoma. And, what I'm saying Oral Roberts University. Are you familiar with who I'm talking about?
Oral Roberts?
And Oral Roberts, Oral Roberts University was established by Oral Roberts, I believe, in the 60s.
Yeah.
And so him and Kenneth Hagin pretty much birthed the Word of Faith movement. And out of Oral Roberts came Kenneth Copeland.
Right.
So you had Kenneth.
Okay, I didn't know that part. Yeah.
So I'm letting you know. So what happened is when I went into the ministry, Word of Faith took off through a guy named Robert Tilton. Have you ever heard of Robert Tilton? It was back in the
I heard the name, but yeah. See, nobody.
Okay, well, he built a mega church here in Dallas, and then what happened was I was invited to go down to Houston, and it was a Bible conference. James Robinson, the evangelist from Fort Worth, he was still a Southern Baptist evangelist then. James Robinson, the one that was part of the moral majority, that brought in Ronald Reagan to be elected. Ralph Reed, Jerry Falwell, you remember the guy?
I remember all those names, yeah.
Okay. So anyway, I was a young preacher, and they invited me down there in '82, and that's whenever I first heard about Lakewood, and Lakewood was Joel Osteen's dad. Joel Osteen's dad, John Osteen, started the church, but he was totally hated. But that was the birthing or the popularity of the prosperity gospel. Now, you got to understand that Jimmy Swaggart was standing against the Word of Faith movement, just like David Wilkerson was in 1981. So Joel Osteen's dad, John, was really, really persecuted strongly when he started Lakewood back in the late 50s. But what happened was the prosperity gospel was almost like Ozzy Osbourne. It just seems like overnight it took off. And then you had these mega churches that started blowing up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that believed in what was called the fivefold ministry: apostles, prophets, teachers, evangelists. Are you familiar with what I'm?
No, I'm kind of lost there because I don't know what you mean by blowing up.
Well,
are we taking that literally or figuratively?
No, I'm talking about they started becoming interdenominational megachurches.
Oh, okay.
They started replacing traditional Southern Baptist churches within the area, and the big one here in Dallas was Church on the Rock, Pastor Larry Lee, and it was a Baptist church whenever he was a youth pastor that got on fire for God, and the Baptist preacher started speaking in tongues, and it became a charismatic church, and it was denounced by W.A. Criswell, First Baptist Dallas. It was called Beverly Hills Baptist Church, and a bunch of kids got saved in that church back in the late 70s. And so that was the beginning of the charismatic movement, or the tail end of the Jesus movement. Now, whatever you want to call it. But it was the beginning of the charismatic Word of Faith movement in this area that pretty much turned into what TBN became.
Well, yeah, I guess a lot happens around Texas, especially Dallas Theological Seminary. And, yeah, seems like, I think Kenneth Copeland lives in Texas, doesn't he?
Yeah, he lives in the northwest area of Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Copeland has been the godfather of the Word of Faith movement in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Yeah.
John Osteen is the godfather of the Word of Faith prosperity gospel in Houston, which is now Joel Osteen.
Yeah, Cheyenne in the chat room says that she met Kenneth Copeland. She confronted him and as a fraud and told him to never put his hands on her or for his fake healings. Yeah, indeed.
Well, did you get that? He brought in that priest from South America named Tony Palmer.
Yeah, Tony Palmer's dead. He died in a motorcycle accident shortly thereafter. But yeah, I do remember that. I saw that. I brought that out. That was when that happened. Him talking to the Pope and the Pope talking to him. They did a
Yeah, and then Copeland had him come and preach.
Who?
There at his
Oh,
church.
Tony Palmer. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and then evangelist.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, well, good bellow. You know, they're compatible bedfellows, the Pope and Kenneth Copeland.
Well, and the thing, and this is what I was going to share with you. This is what the Holy Spirit was dealing with me today about, is sort of giving you a 2020 vision of the way it is in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I'm going to say it again. You cannot preach anything that goes against the materialism and the spirit of mammon in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's just the spirit of materialism is just so out of control here.
Yeah.
That you have to be rich to be a successful evangelist in this town.
Okay. Yeah. So you can't be a John the Baptist, huh?
Oh no, Lord, no! You're completely anathematized, man. I mean, if you're living by faith, and if you don't have a brand spanking new car, and you don't have $75,000 in the bank, it's just a complete spirit of mammon that controls the whole buckle of the evangelical. I call Dallas the buckle of the Bible Belt.
Okay.
Dallas is the Vatican. DTS is the Vatican. The buckle.
Oh yeah, DTS is the dispensational Vatican.
Yes, and it sits right in the midst of downtown Dallas.
Yeah.
DTS is very preeminent right in the inner city of downtown Dallas, right in East Dallas. And when I first went to Criswell College, I would say that 90% of the professors that were coming in to the classroom whenever I was a young preacher or Bible college kid in 1980 were all the professors from DTS. And their prestige is unreal. It's almost like it's almost like they're a cardinal, is what it's like. If you're a professor at Dallas Theological Seminary, it's on the level of being a cardinal in Rome.
Yeah.
And so I pretty much hope that you get an idea now of why that I get depressed in this movie.
Yeah, I could imagine. So is anything fun happening? Are you getting ready for the eclipse? Did they? Oh, they declared a state of emergency, right?
Oh no, we're going to get our Texas tornadoes on Monday. We missed that on the eclipse. We're gonna get our West Texas storms are coming in.
Oh, I see. So, you're going to get storms, and you ain't going to be able to see the eclipse.
Well, that's what they're saying right now. They're saying that Monday is supposed to be cloudy,
right?
So it might mess up the party.
Oh well.
But anyway, the thing of it is, and you know the thing, whenever I first met John Osteen, Nicholas.
John Osteen?
I thought. Yeah. See, I met Joe. I was a young preacher. No, I didn't know Joe. I met his dad, John.
Oh, okay.
Whenever I was when I was preaching in Houston back in the mid '80s, and he was hated by every Baptist preacher in the city of Houston. That was back when John Pisano was pastor of First Baptist Houston, and then there were 4 very, very prominent Baptist churches, and they persecuted him something terribly. I mean, it was terrible. Lakewood was considered a cult, and I really felt sorry for the guy. And so one day I went by, and I met with him in the office. I got pretty close to him, just like I'm talking to you. And I said, John, do you realize what all these preachers say about you? They put you on the level of Jim Jones. And he said, son, I know that. And he was a very gracious man. He said, but my Bible says to love them. But I mean, but Lakewood, I'm talking about when John was pastor, he was completely hated by the churches, the traditional Southern Baptist churches in the Houston area, man. It was almost sad. And then all of a sudden, when Joe became pastor, when John died, Joe became the most famous preacher in this region. it's just incredible how preeminent Joel Osteen is at this moment. I mean, it almost like like he's went at a higher level.
Well, maybe in that area, but the rest of the nation, the way most of the church feels about Joel Osteen is that he is a heretic, and he's sold out for money.
Oh well, yeah.
So,
that's
everywhere I go, that's the way they look at him.
Yeah, isn't that ironic? See, so in other words, if you're in California or places like that, I'm aware because I've preached up there in California, and it's a very anti. I mean, it's very hard to survive as an evangelist out there, man. Because I was just one of these Texas Baptist preachers with a wife and a kid in the car, which you saw the way I looked back then. That's when I was all over the country. Man, it's like I would tell Tina, man, I got to get out of here, man. I mean, there's just no Christianity at all. I mean, it's very, very frightening.
And yet you're still there today. What keeps you there?
Because I don't know really where to go.
Oh. Well, you got family there. Your sisters are there, and your mom.
Yeah, but I've had a lot of people die on me. My mother died, and then my sister, she lives. She's married to a banker in Fort Worth, and they're caught up in that. They're typical dispensational Southern Baptists, and it's almost like what I was wanting to try to say to you. There is such a demonic darkness that has people's minds with dispensationalism, and that Christians are not going to suffer in America, that it's almost going to have to take a judgment or a martyrdom to awaken the church and to awaken Christianity in this country.
Well,
because people really believe.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, when the rapture doesn't happen, a lot of them are going to be disappointed. A lot of them are going to walk away from the church. When the false prophecy turns out to be false, because they believe it's really Bible prophecy, they will turn to the Antichrist. That's part of the point. I mean, that's kind of like a bonus for the Antichrist. First of all, they don't know who the biblical and historical Antichrist is, because they've been taught by him and his educators and all of those that are working for him, pushing this dispensational futurism thing, that they can't know who the Antichrist is. So they don't, and they believe that. And they believe they're going to be raptured out before anything bad happens, before they have tribulation. Even though Jesus clearly says, in this life you will have tribulation, they still want to escape it. And so in disobedience to God, in contention with his word, they believe that they're going to escape tribulation. But at the same time, the prophecy is a lie, because it says all of the calamity of the entire book of Revelation, chapters 6 through 19, is saved for the last 7 years, when the truth is that prophecy has been unfolding over the last 1,800 years. So only the very end of it is left. I believe we're in the seventh vial era right now. So everything, all of the judgments before that have already happened and been poured out over history. So they believe a lie, and they're relying on a lie, and they believe they're going to be raptured when certain things happen. Those certain things are going to happen, or at least the Antichrist has them scheduled to happen, because they want to do the Temple Mount play in the Mideast, so that they'll go, well, where's our rapture? And then they'll go, oh, well, it's not pre-trib, it must be mid-trib. So they'll wait 3.5 years after they start building their temple, thing over there. And then when it doesn't happen after 3.5, 4, or 5 years, they're going to say, well, it must be post-trib, right? Isn't that how it works? You believed in the tribulation, the pre, mid, post thing, didn't you, at one time?
Well, yeah, but let me say one other thing to you, because I want you to help me with this. When Jesus said, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot, and because you are lukewarm, I will spew you up. Knowest not that I have need of nothing. I would consider that the prosperity gospel right now in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This is the Laodicean church that I'm sitting in right now, because they have need of nothing. They don't. they don't care. They don't think they're going to suffer.
Yeah.
They don't need Jesus. They have money. No, it's not that they are increased with goods and have need of nothing. So, and Jesus said they're spiritually wretched, blind, and naked.
That's the truth.
And so
hey, I'm going into a break here,
right.
Philip. So I want to thank you for calling in.
All right.
And
all right. I'm sorry that you didn't get to hear my song very well. I'll have to
work on the sound thing. Okay, well, here we go.
Well, there's
we'll talk again later, okay?
All right.
Thanks, man. Bye.
The program you are listening to is 100% sponsored by you, the listener, on this First Amendment Rights Media channel. You will notice that there are few commercials on this radio network. There's a good reason for that. Corporate advertising dollars come with strings that limit program content. So without your help, these programs cannot continue on satellite, internet, or our several affiliates. If you benefit by the educational law programs, we ask you to give. If you are admonished or nurtured by the Bible and ministry programs, we ask you to give. If some voice a cause that you are passionate about, we ask you to give. If you believe in any of these, we ask you to support them as you would a missionary on a continual basis, as if giving a tithe for missionary radio. These programs are not commercially viable and must be supported by those faithful to the cause of truth. Look for the button to sponsor your favorite programs at our listen and schedule pages on the internet. We will also give you unlimited archive access to all of our programs. We're asking you to give much less than a tithe so that you may also send support directly to a particular program host, cause, and anywhere else the Spirit may lead you. Do all to the glory of our God and Creator, for His holy nation, the only kingdom that will last forever. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Nicholas Arthur, and I'd like to introduce you to my latest book, Reformed Prophecy Interpretation, an apology for Reformed premillennial historicism in the 21st century. As with primitive biblical Christianity, historicism is the method of prophecy interpretation restored with the advent of the Protestant Reformation, and had become so widely held that for a long time it was called the Protestant view. My book is not so much about the errors of dispensationalism or amillennialism. Rather, it is about the historicist alternative to understanding many of the same passages from the vantage point of prophecy fulfilled in history. For those that desire more than mere hypotheses, bolstered with conjectured speculation, those who require explicit biblical exegesis and verified historical fulfillment, and are not willing to accept speculation as anything other than what it is. Speculation, not truth. This book is for you. Over the last century, this method of interpretation has become almost completely forgotten, even by Protestants, in the face of a method that is based almost entirely on future speculation, rather than fulfilled prophecy in history. In my book, I examine the reasons for this and investigate some of the prophecy which has been fulfilled in the interim, as well as present an apology for Reformed premillennial historicism to the 21st century. If you're interested in a copy of my book, you can go to my website, crosstheborder.org, and get more information there. Or you may also find it at Amazon. right, we are back. Yes, and I had to run out and heat up a cup of coffee. And we're ready to go. It's good to hear from Elvis or Philip the Evangelist over there from Dallas. I have a feeling sometimes he could do the whole show by himself. He probably could. But he should jump in the chat room over there. Sparked a lot of conversation over there in the YouTube. Or no, in the, which chat room is that? That's YouTube chat room. Yeah. Sparked a lot of conversation over there. So you should jump in the chat room over there, Philip. But these, a lot of them have met the people you're talking about there. I think I met Kenneth Copeland once. I saw him in Michigan when I was back there visiting my sister or something way back in I guess it was the 1980s or something. I can't remember. It was a long, well, it had to be in the 80s because my sister died in the 80s. So anyway, had to be then. Okay, let's see what else. Any more comments, questions? The chat and the call-in numbers here. And hopefully we've eliminated all of the ghost caller numbers for the time being. And but it is good to hear perhaps Philip or Elvis will get his sound system fixed and give us a real surprise one of these days with some great sound. Or maybe he'll get his Skype working and we can see him play the guitar. I think you can hear it better if you can see it. Is it just me? Is that true? Okay, that's kind of like, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody, does it make a sound if there's nobody there? Something like that. Whatever. Okay, well, let's see what else we got here. Oh, yes, we were talking about the state of emergency. Let's see, woman asked some very obvious questions about next week's solar eclipse. She doesn't even mention the numerous states that have already declared a state of emergency and deployed National Guard to allegedly manage the crowds. It's going to be a 7.5 minute crowd. We'd probably be a humongous nothing burger. Yes, that's pretty much what I know. It's going to be a nothing burger here in California. So since we're not even going to see it, but as I said, maybe they're expecting Joe Biden to send them money. After all, it is an emergency, is it not? Yes. Okay, well, let's see what else we have here. This Texan mom of 5 found out she had an arrest warrant for overdue library books, and the judge didn't want to hear her side of the story. Kaylee Morgan was recently shocked to find out that she could go to jail over 2 library books that the Navasota Public Library claims she failed to return last year. Yes, I think I've heard this story before. Yeah. So, didn't want to hear her side of the story. Okay, Samaritan Ministries, a biblical solution to health care. Yeah, I've talked about that before. I was right. They do have it. Health sharing program. So, anyway, there's something you might want to take advantage of, whether you like Franklin Graham or not, or Billy Graham doesn't really have anything to do with it. But his Samaritan Ministries is a good ministry. Yeah. Let's see, what else we got here? This gal's insane overreaction to being removed from her flight had the entire plane laughing. I can't breathe. This is George Floyd. Must have been a comic act of some sort. Bro, this one's right up there with whatever that means. Yeah, ladies freak out from last year. Okay, got the police there to take her off the plane, I guess. Insane overreaction, huh? Okay, I'm not going to go for it. Okay, Amazon's automated grocery stores were mostly run by 1,000 So they're remote workers watching people shop from India. Don't you want to go to that grocery store? Yeah, I think not. All right. Comments, questions? I got a text number up here. You want to call in? Call in. We've established that the phone actually works and we can hear your voice. Okay, see, there's nobody in the First Amendment Radio chat room. And everybody, oh good to see 1, 2, 3, Blackbird in the other chat room says, maybe a Jesuit, maybe the ghost caller, but something is very wrong. I don't know what to say about that. Are you talking about Philip, the caller? Okay. Says, unfortunately, I can hear okay. Weird something. Okay, well, I don't know what to make of that. Blackbird in the chat room over there in the Rumble chat room with Epicus. But all the conversation is going on in the YouTube chat room. You know, the YouTube chat room, those people, Google chat room, the people that keep giving me strikes and disappearing my videos. Yeah, you guys got to come over to Rumble. Yeah. Because one of these days I'm not going to be able to stream or to live stream on YouTube. Let's see what else we got here. This Foster Freeze went out of business the same day California upped minimum wage for fast food workers. Read the owner's heartbreaking statement. Yeah, I guess Foster Freeze are gone. They can't. Yeah, small business can't survive a 120% plus minimum wage increase over the last 10 years. Seriously. See, Shine says, crazy thing, I bumped into Donald Trump as I was dying. Oh, wait a minute. Did I miss something? Dangerous thing, present world, the only true and living God. Okay, and she says, crazy thing, I bumped into Donald Trump as I was dying. Get this, Trump notified exactly 6 years later with white and gold leaf invitation to seminar in Kansas. It was creepy. I never gave him my full name. Huh. Yes, Cheyenne says, glad you're on Rumble. Yeah, I wish I could make something out of that. You were bumping into Donald Trump as you were dying? Yeah, was that like running into Donald Trump was a near-death experience? Okay. You're likely going to have to call in, Cheyenne. We have to talk about this. The number's right there on the screen. This has got to be a great story that everybody wants to hear. So I'm waiting for you to call in. Meanwhile, okay, well, here comes somebody. Somebody's going to call in. Let's see. Your name and where you're calling from. You are on the air. No, come on. Well, okay. Well, it's not Cheyenne. Yes. So it okay. All right. Going. Strike one on that number. All right. Let me type this so I know if it calls in again that it has a strike. Okay, so Foster Freeze. Yes, there's a Foster Freeze here. And I used to go over there with my daughter and my children all the time. Because I used to live on the south side of the town near here where I live now. When back in the 80s and 90s, I lived in the town. And the Foster Freeze, we would ride our bikes because I'm a bike riding man. I like to ride bike. It's good exercise. It's something to do with your family when you're out. Anyway, so we would always stop at Foster Freeze. And just something fun to do when you're on your outing. So it may close up, and that looks like it. See. Owner's heartbreaking statement. So another X. Everything's on X today. Yes. Oh, click here. Click here to view the article. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Oh, here it is. ABC News. Let's see. Is there anything else? Okay, they got a lot of ads here. So I guess you have to click on here to see that. Oh, yes, I guess you do. All right, we'll go for it. See, will they give us an ad? Everybody has to give you an ad these days. Okay, still waiting for this. This is just the start. Fast food jobs were meant for training high school age people and entry-level work, not for raising a family and a career. Yeah, I remember when I was in high school, I worked at a Burger King, and then I got fired because the manager's nephew needed a job. So then I went over to McDonald's and got a job there. And I think I was making $1.25. Was it $1.25 an hour? That's right, $1.25 an hour. That was minimum wage then. Back in the late 60s, we were talking about. So, and I guess here's a link. Maybe this link will work. Okay, here it is. All right. Oh, yeah, we actually get video. So, we get Action News.
As fast food workers started earning more money today, 25% more than they were making yesterday. The pay raise could mean higher prices at some restaurants and has reportedly prompted at least one Central Valley business to shutter.
Today, the employees of the Foster's Freeze in Lemoore showed up for work but got their last paycheck instead. Action News anchor Nick Garcia was in Lemoore tonight and talked to workers about the abrupt closure.
Some of the people who worked at this Foster's Freeze thought it was an April Fool's Day joke until they saw the close sign for themselves and reality sunk in.
I was like, okay, April Fools, be for real. Not April Fools. I realized that she was not joking. I drove straight over here and got my last check.
Monica Navarro got a phone call from her general manager informing her the location would not open for business again. All day, would-be customers drove in, then away, as they learned what the employees learned Monday morning.
How does that feel to show up and there just not be a job?
It's jarring. It's like, okay, you can go home, and then it's like, I thought I was gonna work today.
It's hard to take it when there was no notice at all.
The closure comes the same day California's minimum wage for fast food workers rises to $20 an hour. Economic experts have been predicting closures and layoffs in the months leading up to the hike.
Most of the time, if not all of the time, the business owners have to pass those cost increases.
Yeah, they should have predicted this would happen. These legislatures, the legislature in California and the governor signing this bill, are they really that stupid? And are Californians stupid enough to vote for them again, or have they just been cheating in the California elections longer than we've noticed in the national elections? I believe that's the truth, that cheating in elections has been perfected in California, at least for the government and the legislature. Yeah, I wish it wasn't so, but I don't believe in the elections in California. Yeah, sorry I forgot to turn my mic on there for a minute, but when I play something, it picks up and does a echo thing. All right. Functional now. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So that's it. Fast food's dead in California. And some of them have been raising prices over the last couple of years or whatever since they announced this thing was going to happen. But some of them just decided to close, and they did. So probably half of the fast food restaurants in California are going to shut down and go away. And what will be left, there just won't be enough business to go around, and they're facing that fact. Because fast food is supposed to be cheap fast food, not paying fancy restaurant prices for a hamburger. Seriously. Yes, indeed. $1.25, you could have bought a senior coffee at McDonald's every hour instead of getting paid. Okay, I'm not sure what that means, but I think it has something to do with the $1.25 an hour that I made in the 1960s when I worked at a gas station or at McDonald's or at wherever it was. New York City's doing the same thing. Keep electing and re-electing losers. Yeah, and we all lose. Yeah. I don't think, I'm not sure the elections are real anymore, that they can be, we can, as long as they use these machines and they can be hacked. They're not supposed to be connected to the internet, but they show us over and over that they are. So, yeah, they kind of flaunt it for us. So, not buying it. All right, let's see what else we got. Comments, questions. If you got a question for me, please, or a comment you want to get my attention. I know you're having a lot of fun with your conversations over there in the chat room, but it's hard for me to keep up. So to get to me directly, just text me on your stupid phone or smartphone, if you want to call it that. I like to call them stupid phones because, I think people spend way too much time on them. But if they're your only computer, I have computers in front of me, and I don't like looking at a little screen. All right, we have a caller. Let's see if we can get it to talk. Your name and where you're calling from? Oh, this is the one I just gave the strike to. Okay, well, we'll just strike 2. You're out. We go ahead and block the number. Block number. Yes, indeed. And so that number is blocked. Delete conversation. Indeed. Okay. Let's see. Somebody sent me something here. Who is this? Someone texted me. It's hard for me to read it way over there. I just tried twice to post a link in the YouTube chat to an article about the Jesuit priests that were in Hiroshima. And let me put that here. About the Jesuit priests that were, I shouldn't be showing your number on the air. I probably shouldn't be doing that. Okay, I just tried twice to post a link in the YouTube chat, an article about the Jesuit priests that were in Hiroshima. Twice the link disappeared. Anyway, here's the short video you were talking about this briefly a couple nights ago. Hiroshima was firebombed. That's all. Okay, and this is, I don't know who this is. If you could let me know your name, it's nice. Be nice to have a name, just your first name, or maybe where you're from. I would appreciate that. Okay, well, we're going to do that link and check that out. Yeah, when we get back from the break, we'll take some time and do that. Let's see, I got to copy this here somehow. Okay, I'll figure out how to do it during the break, how to get that link over to my browser. But anyway, appreciate that. I'd like to know who I'm thanking. So if you could text me, send me another text with your name and where you're from, I'd appreciate that. Whoever sent me that mystery caller, but All right. So where were we? Yes, it's getting to the bottom of the hour. So I'll definitely let's see. What is the number to call in? Hello? I'm sorry I missed your text. I must have missed your text when you texted me originally. Your first name and city. Oh, I did ask for your first name and city. Oh, it's only monitored. Yeah, if you text me during the day, I'm not always in the studio here, so I might miss it and might not see it until later. So be patient. I only see it when I'm actually live in the studio and maybe not otherwise occupied working on other things during the day. But I will look at every text and get back to you. Cheyenne says, I remember 60 cents an hour. Then new laws came in and we got $1.10 an hour at our nursing home. Ooh, yeah, you must be at least as old as I am then. That was Rick. Verity in the chat. Okay. Thank you for that, Rick. I appreciate it. And yeah, I won't show your numbers on the screen. I don't want to do that to you. But I did have it set up so that I could just show the messages, but I'll have to set that up again just in case. Okay. She says, Cheyenne says, yep, a little bit older. Yeah, I remember when it was, I think it was $1.20. I'm just guessing when I say it was $1.25 at the end of the 60s. It might have been $1.10. But I know it was a little over $1 and not much because I remember I could get, I think gas was like 39 cents a gallon or something. Or no, it's like 20. I think I worked at a Standard station. You remember Standard? Gasoline station. It was right across the street from the high school and I pumped gas there. And I think it was like 39 cents a gallon. And since I worked there, I would get a break, but it was still cheaper for me to go down to the discount gas station down the road. So I would, because I could get it for like 32 cents a gallon or something. And then I remember driving around. I drove to Texas and I was just, it was like great because in Texas I could get gas for 19 cents a gallon. And I thought that was something. Yes, indeed. Yeah. It was $1.25 an hour and 65. Okay, so I guess I was right then at saying that. So it was $1.10 before that. So yeah, that would have been right then. A pack of cigarettes was higher than gasoline, remember? Unfortunately, yes, I was smoking at that time too. I smoked cigarettes and I forget what I paid for a pack of cigarettes. But I quit smoking when I was 30 years old, so my lungs work great today. Yes, totally recovered from the damage I did to my lungs between the ages of 13 and 30. That's right. It took me a long time to quit smoking. It was very difficult, but I finally figured it out. By the grace of God, I should add. Yeah, it's a tough one. So I understand that for sure. Okay. All right. I will figure that out during the break, though, how to get that over here, because I do want to share that. And I'm glad that you found that. It's on YouTube, too. Look at that. Huh. All right. We'll definitely check that out when we get back from the break. Let's see. What else do we got here? Oh, yes. Foster's Freeze closed. Please enjoy this video of a guy joining an online queer and fat club as a self-identified 275-pound queer man. I saw this somewhere. I guess it's probably on X too, but I did see this sometime recently and it was hilarious. So anyway, we found something more hilarious. So we'll check that out too when we have time. We got another half hour coming up here. So definitely want to check that out. And other stuff. Yeah. And stuff that's not so much fun. Okay, well, I heard the tone there while we're on the break. And if you haven't followed my blog yet at nicholasarthur.wordpress.com, or you can go to Cross the Border, that's CROSS, crosstheborder.org. It'll take you to my blog. It forwards it there. And make sure you press the follow button. Take advantage of the articles and everything that I have there. And share. Yeah, on whatever social media you have. You'll help me out that way. Other than that, you could send me $1 million. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes.
The program you are listening to is 100% sponsored by you, the listener, on this First Amendment Rights Media channel. You will notice that there are few commercials on this radio network. There's a good reason for that. Corporate advertising dollars come with strings that limit program content. So without your help, these programs cannot continue on satellite, internet, or our several affiliates. If you benefit by the educational law programs, we ask you to give. If you are admonished or nurtured by the Bible and ministry programs, we ask you to give. If some voice a cause that you are passionate about, we ask you to give. If you believe in any of these, we ask you to support them as you would a missionary on a continual basis, as if giving a tithe for missionary radio. These programs are not commercially viable and must be supported by those faithful to the cause of truth. Look for the button to sponsor your favorite programs at our listen and schedule pages on the internet. We will also give you unlimited archive access to all of our programs. We're asking you to give much less than a tithe so that you may also send support directly to a particular program host, cause, and anywhere else the Spirit may lead you. Do all to the glory of our God and Creator, for His holy nation, the only kingdom that will last forever. Thank you for listening.
Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org. When it comes to prophecy today, much of the evangelical Christian world has their eyes on Israel, waiting and watching to see when the third temple will begin to be built. The plans are drawn. The Jewish people are eager. Most evangelical Christians today believe that the rapture will happen before the third temple is built. Hi, I'm Michael Eugene. I was taught that Daniel's 70th week was in the future. Is that really what the Bible teaches? Have we searched the scriptures and found this to be true? Why is it so important for a re-established Israel to build a third temple in Jerusalem? Is it necessary to build a temple on the same location already occupied by the Dome of the Rock? Is it necessary for sacrifices to take place in the temple on Temple Mount? Is there really a rapture followed by 7 years of tribulation? What is the New Testament temple? Can we identify history and prophecy? Who is the first beast in Revelation chapter 13? Who are the 7 kings in Revelation 17? I have asked all these questions, and I have found Nicholas Arthur's new book, When the Third Temple is Built, answers all these questions and more using Scripture to interpret Scripture. The Bible says that no prophecy of Scripture is of any private interpretation. Nicholas shows us in his new book, When the Third Temple is Built, how the Bible interprets prophecy and not man's private interpretation. Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org.
Okay, we are back, and I do have the video up over here. I guess we need to let you see the screen first. It says it's 42 seconds, or is that the commercial they're going to play first? View products. Okay, well, let's see what happens.
In World War II, a devastating atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, Japan, wiping out everything within a 1-mile radius. Surprisingly, 8 priests were the only survivors in that zone. Not only did they walk away unscathed from the atomic blast, but also lived to old age without suffering from radiation sickness or have any lasting problems. Many scientists and doctors interviewed them many times. Father Schiffer, one of the survivors, said over 200 times. When asked why they think they survived, they said it's because they followed the message of Fatima and prayed the rosary every day in their home.
Seriously, that's it? Wow. Surviving the bomb, huh? A full documentary, The Miracle of Hiroshima, full movie. Yeah, so how did they survive? By praying the rosary. Interesting. Huh. Yeah. Okay, well, I was hoping it'd be more than 42 seconds, Rick, but I guess that's all we get. If their excuse is they prayed the rosary, that's how they survived. Interesting, but yeah, the only survivors in a 1.5-mile radius are the Jesuits. Amazing. Heralds of the Gospel in Canada. It's a miracle. It's a miracle that they survived it all. Anyway, Hiroshima before and after. Boy, that leads to a lot, doesn't it? Yes, I think, have they banned all those videos? Because I remember, and I can't find any of those videos anymore from the nuclear hoax that we were talking about, because I started my career in radio about 1995 when it was cool to be a Christian patriot. And one of the largest broadcast, FM broadcast stations in the Central Valley here was where I began. And we had these videos that were going around. A lot of videos were being made. You know, the old cassette or VCR tapes were going around. And we had a lot of them that we would play on the air. We didn't have video like this, though. We didn't have internet. That was about the time we started, at the same time we started audio streaming on the internet, about 1995 too. But there was several videos going around, conspiracy type videos about nuclear energy, the danger of nuclear energy being a hoax. So haven't seen much of that haven't seen any of it, really. I was hoping we'd have something like that. And part of it was the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that they were not dropped from an airplane, but they were set up on the ground somehow. I don't remember much about it. So I was hoping I'd hear something more about that. See, why isn't Hiroshima a nuclear wasteland? There's a lot of things that, just putting this video in there here, I'll put it in the chat rooms. You guys can check it out and look at some of the related videos, and maybe it could be a topic for a later show. See what you guys think. Just put these in the chat, put this link in the chat room so everyone. But when you put this in, you get that 42-second video, but a lot of stuff pops up on the side, a lot of suggested videos about it. And we don't have time to do that on the air, of course, go through all those. But, Bob from PA says, I remember that. Yeah. Packus, yes, all of that. So, let me get that in the other chat room there. And, nobody showed up in the First Amendment Radio chat room. I remember, and it used to be full all the time when I used to do my broadcast once a week. There's still a lot of people that do only show up on Wednesday morning. So, okay. All right. Well, that was interesting. So what else do we have? Let me check this out, see if anyone else suggested anything else. Okay, no comments, no questions. Apparently, a scientist was able to swim where nuclear rods were kept and drank water. Yes, I remember that in the video too. Good memory there, Cheyenne. Just their social engineering and restructuring the world as we type here. I have been for the last 4 years. So yeah, I remember that now. The guy would swim in the water and even drink the water that they were using to cool the nuclear rods, not being dangerous to hold. Yeah, I remember bits and pieces of it, but I do remember the guy swimming in the water. He had video of it and everything. It was crazy. That's why I'm just sorry I lost all those tapes. Lost a lot from that era. Yes. Well, if you guys find those, make sure you text me or leave it in the First Amendment Radio chat room for me, the links. Well, they might not even stay in there if I don't catch them on time. But yeah, texting them to me is probably the best way to go. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? I'm going to save that and look at some of those later on. The nuclear hoax. So we had the moon landing hoax, the nuclear hoax, and then we had the pandemic hoax. Yeah, that one too. Yes. So how many hoaxes have we got going on here? Quite a few. Because I don't believe for a minute that they really went to the moon in the early 60s or even throughout the 60s. I don't believe that happened, because I believe if it did happen, that they would have kept going there. Yeah. Because, that's what man does. And now it doesn't seem they can get there now. Yeah. But if they could do it in the 60s, what's so tough about it? They did it with 60s technology. What? Newer technology can't do what they did back in the 60s? Give me a break. I'm not buying it. Yeah. So anyway, genetic modification says he's going to search as he or she. Because I still don't know what genetic modification is. Says, I'll search my archives. The speaker was holding his hand. Galen Windsor would go on tour and swallow their uranium. Oh, Galen Windsor, huh? This from Verity in the chat room. Okay, thanks. Yes, you can't go to the moon. Yeah, you can't take enough Earth with you to get to the moon. Oh, genetic modification says he's a he. Okay, well, at least we got that part right. Yes, a he. So we can't know anything about him. Just like the Antichrist, we can't know who he is. Yes, Galen Windsor, that's the man. That's right, I do remember. I remember the name now. Galen Windsor sounds familiar. So we might go with that. We might look up Galen Windsor later on. I need to bring up a notepad here so I can take a note and put his name in it to look him up later. So that I have to do here. All right, let's see. The video is the nuclear scam. Galen Windsor. The nuclear scare scam. Is that still on? Wow, that's a good memory. Or do you have it in your own private catalog there? Jesuit Fiends is in the chat room. And a nuclear scare scam, I guess it's on YouTube still. How the Jesuit priests survived. And so we do have that. The nuclear scare scam. Let's see, copy link address. And paste and go. All right. Yes. So anyway, there it is. It's in the, here, I'll put it in the other chat rooms for you guys if you want to check it out. I should make you come over to the First Amendment Radio chat room. But I won't be cruel. Yes. Wasn't that an Elvis song? Don't be cruel. Yeah, I think it was. Anyway, this is an hour and 31 minutes long. We don't have time for that. We only got about 15 minutes left. So anyway, thanks for that. I know Jesuit Fiends was listening anyway, and he finally decided to jump in and give us the links, man. So we've got it now. So we'll definitely check it out later. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to, yes, give a thumbs up or save it to my watch later list. Watch later. Yes, indeed. Okay. They haven't purged the older channels. I've been archiving as I go. Know full well we'd be censored and sanitized in the future. Yes, indeed. The older channels haven't been purged yet. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what else we have for tonight. See, maybe, see what I'm looking at here. Okay. Yes. The golden era of YouTube was over by 2010. Yeah, I know. They started shadow banning me in 2008. Google did. Yeah. And okay, let's see. Oh, yes. Again, the devil taketh him up to an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and says unto him, all these things I will give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. And Jesus said, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. And that's why few people in the government are not corrupted, because there are few that have the Spirit of God and can stand. And I was hopeful when I heard about the new Speaker of the House that he would stand. But apparently he hasn't. He hasn't stood. And there are people that have suggested. I think it was who was it that suggested? I think I did put that. I think I reposted that. Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene was interviewed by Tucker Carlson, and she suggested that they got to him and that they were blackmailing him or threatening his family or something, because she said there was such a noticeable change in the speaker after becoming speaker that it was astounding, and she just couldn't reconcile the difference any other way than that they somehow got to him and either compromised him or threatened his family. And we know this is how the Jesuits work, and that's what happens in Washington, D.C. So you have all of the best corruption and threatening power that money can buy going on in Washington, D.C. So in case you were wondering what happened to Mike Johnson, because I was hopeful. I knew he was a Zionist and that he could be compromised there. And I would think it would be shameful if he's compromised just because he's a Zionist and he wants to get funding for Israel. But to go as far as he's gone, yeah, to funding even abortion and other abominable things, it seems like things that you would think that he would never do if he was a true Christian. But a lot of people might cave under the threat of death, maybe to their family, if their family or their loved ones are threatened, because those that do that kind of threatening can be very convincing. Yeah, because they might even take them over and murder someone in front of them that has no notoriety or something, if you don't believe, or they might just show them, what the power and what they're able to do, because they are able to do things. And this is how the shadow government that works for the Antichrist operates. If you've ever read the Jesuit instructions, you would know what I'm talking about. And I have read them on the air. I went through them all once in the past, and I I guess I should. Maybe I'll make a note of it, and we'll look through the Jesuit instructions. Let me leave a note for myself. And go through them on the air, so you can see what people in high up places that have any power, what they have to deal with. They might have to be willing to lay down their lives or even sacrifice their families to call out evil. And how many people could stand up under that? Yeah. Okay, there are at least 14 aftershocks between 1.7 and 2 points since yesterday morning. Only felt the 3.8 and the 599. Says Mode 85. Good to see you there in the chat room. Thank you for showing up. Ja B. I'm in New Jersey, close to New York City. Good to see you, Ja B. And the 1611 has the word prince in capital P. Oh, in chapter 9, right? The prince of the people of the prince. Oh, it's capitalized. Who is the prince? It says in the very, the people of the prince. Christ used. Okay, well, we could discuss that one. Yeah. No, the he in the text is the Messiah. But the people of the prince, I've seen that alternate interpretation before, but it doesn't work upon closer scrutiny. But thank you for that anyway. We can discuss that sometime when we have more time. Let's see. Yeah. And Jabi gave me a thumbs up and a hello back there from Mode 85 in the YouTube. Everybody's in the YouTube chat room today. So anyway, but you guys, get over to my blog, and maybe I'll put a link in the chat room. I have it. It's right there. And let's see, copy link. This is the link to my blog here I'm putting in the chat room, my WordPress page. So go over there and look for the follow button and press follow. And then, because I usually send out a post that'll drop in your email box an hour or 30 minutes to an hour before I go on the air live every night. And I don't go on every night, but almost every night. Okay. And before I do my live broadcast, my Wednesday morning broadcast is called Prophecy Reality. And I spend the whole 2 hours just on prophecy. Okay. Guy Fawkes caller ended his intrusions this evening, it appears. Yes. How nice to have peace and not have to deal with that calls. But I'm sure he's working as hard as he can to come up with some more numbers. Yes. I like that you're on Twitch, even though I'm the only person in the chat each day. Oh, you're on Twitch. Okay. Yeah. I don't pay much attention to Twitch. I'm just on there because it doesn't seem I get any traction there. But I just continue to persist because I have the software to do it with. So I keep doing it because I figure, well, it's a pond. I'll fish in it. If it's available. I may not catch many fish over there, but since God has made me a fisher of men, it's my job to fish in every pond I can. Yeah. Let's see, the haven of degenerates, especially the youth of this final age. Yes, well, I guess I can just pray, oh Lord, bless the stream going out on Twitch, that we can catch a few fish over there. So I don't know if I caught you or you just happen to be over there doing the same thing I'm doing, trying to catch fish. But anyway, Mode 85, welcome to the broadcast and on YouTube. I'm trying to build the chat room. I'm trying to build it more on Rumble, but YouTube is still more popular. Twitch is a great pond to fish from. Plenty of three-headed fish with no scales. Yeah. The haven of degenerates, especially the youth of this final age. Yes, I noticed what's over there. Yeah. But okay, just, I guess we're allowed to fish in any pond we want, as long as we don't swim in it. Some places you don't want to swim in, you just might want to fish, because there might be a rare fish that is worth catching, but we'll leave that up to the Holy Ghost, right? Okay, like I said, there's the link. Get on over there, press the follow button. Oh, chat on Rumble with smartphone is difficult. Ah, I see. It's easier. I've never tried it. You could try the First Amendment Radio Mobi app, FirstAmendmentRadio.net /Mobi, MOBI. Chat room. Try the chat room on our Mobi page. That might work better. So if you're, let me see, I think I have that here. A link to that, I'll put that in the chat room too, so you can just use the link. See, copy link, paste link. So there it is. That's our Mobi page, and just press the chat button. It's up at the top on the right. And we have the screen on the top and the chat below. I don't know, you have to leave a notice there. Nobody seemed to complain about it that's using the Mobi page. So, because I know people come into the chat room, about half of the people in the chat room on FirstAmendmentRadio.net are using the Mobi page chat. So I think it works good. But any suggestions or comments on it would be great. But nobody seems to be complaining about it that's using it. So, okay, about to run out of time. Yes, indeed. Okay, share the broadcast. Tell people about First Amendment Radio. Get the Mobi page if you're listening on your smart or stupid phone, whatever you like to call it. And share it with everyone on your list or whatever you can do to help. If you got a few bucks or a few $1,000,000, you can always send them our way. There's a heart button on the Mobi chat page there, so you give something if you want. If you can't give, I understand, but you can share, especially if you're out there. Just share 2 or 3 things a day for us and help spread the word about us. Because on the Mobi page, there's all the links to all the different things there, so you can look us up and follow, and then share while you're looking us up and following. So, okay, that's it. That's all the time I have. I want to thank everyone for showing up today. It's really nice to see the nighttime, the night owls, and the audience growing for this broadcast. May the Almighty bless you and keep you as you travel on the narrow way that leads to life. Never leave it. And if you do, remember, always turn around and get back on. And if there was a street sign on the narrow way that leads to life, it would say Repentance Road, because that's the work the Holy Spirit is doing in us. I'll see you next time. Secrets of the Rapture. Is there a 500-year-old conspiracy? A propaganda machine so pervasive and entrenched, yet so elusive that the entire world could be taken in by it, working in plain sight, but unseen by the world for what it truly is? If prophecy is God-given history in advance, why does the prophecy that has conquered the age also exclude nearly 2,000 years of history? What is it that they are afraid that the light of history will reveal? To understand our place in time and prophecy, we must look in history for an interpretation, that which stands the test of time, that which agrees with the Word of God, and history has proven to be true. When cunning fables and fearful speculations are removed from our sight, then we may clearly see what is truly expressed in Bible prophecy, both that which has been fulfilled and that which has yet to come. God's express word is the sword that must be wielded to remove the scales from the eyes and dispel the darkness of deceitful conjecture. Secrets of the Rapture was written to expose that which the spirit of the age has conjured out of the darkness to blind the eyes of the church in the world today. Secrets of the Rapture, Deconstructing Pre-Tribulation Dispensational Futurism by yours truly, Nicholas Arthur, is now.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. President Biden plans to speak with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today. Jared Halpern has more.
The conversation between the president and prime minister will be the first since an Israeli airstrike killed several humanitarian aid workers this week in Gaza. The president described outrage over the incident. White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby says that does not signal a shift in U.S. support for Israel.
We are working very closely with them. We will continue to work closely with them to make sure they can defend themselves, but also that they do it in a way that is in keeping with the highest standards of the law of armed conflict.
President Biden has warned Netanyahu against a ground invasion of Rafah in southern Gaza, where more than 1 million civilians are seeking refuge.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis